Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good day. We have 75 people online from all over the world. So good day to you all. And we have a room that is filling up here physically. So my name is Clive Gray. I'm the director of the Immunopaedia Foundation, one of them anyway, and started Immunopaedia 20 years ago. In fact, I'll tell you a little story. I was sitting at a bar in Keystone itself. So those who've been to Keystone and know the bar, that was the bar. And I was having a beer with another T-cell immunologist, Jeff Saffert. I don't know if Jeff's online or not. And he said to me, and he was at that time the project officer at the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. And he said to me, Clive, I think you should apply for the International Leadership Award. And I had never heard of it before. I asked him what it was about. And I said, sure. So I did. And the following March, March 2004, this was in 2003 that Jeff and I met, I submitted, and obviously it was successful. And so you could say this is our 21st birthday because the grant was awarded in 2004. But then, as will become apparent during the afternoon here, we launched Immunopaedia. And in fact, in those days, it wasn't called Immunopaedia at all. It was called PERFISA. And I can't even remember what it stands for, but it's an ugly name. So I was having a pizza with my family in Joburg, where I lived at that time. And it suddenly came across me, this flash of brilliance over a pizza. So pizza and beer, remember that, is Immunopaedia, the immunology of pediatrics. So that was the birth of Immunopaedia. And it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences here at Stellenbosch, Professor Elmi Muller, to welcome you all to this occasion, both online and here in the room. Thank you.
It's wonderful to see colleagues and friends and research partners, and several of you also joining us online from, I think, everywhere around the world, so welcome. It's a privilege for me to speak to you. It's 20 years of Immunopaedia, and I think what I've seen, and I haven't used this a lot, but I've looked it up, and I can see that it's grown from something that was initially quite a small idea into something that's really now a global community. A place for people who want to learn, for teachers, for researchers to connect, to share knowledge and to inspire. And I think this is what you want to achieve today with this celebration as well. I think immunology lies at the heart of medicine. And as you know, I'm a clinician, and immunology is also quite a difficult specialty for us to understand. But if you think about all the health challenges that we've had recently globally and in South Africa, HIV, tuberculosis, COVID, just a general word, cancer, autoimmunity. I do transplants, so the safety of organ transplants very much linked to immunology. So these tools are all very important for us, not only to treat disease, but also to prevent disease. I think we can say safely that immunology is a science that shaped modern medicine. And if you look at the Nobel Prizes, I was in Sweden recently and I looked up what's the field that got most Nobel Prizes in medicine, and immunology is certainly one of them. There's been prizes for T cells, for dendritic cells, for immune tolerance, monoclonal antibodies, cancer, immunotherapy. So these are breakthroughs that have saved lives and that had a huge global impact. I say this microphone is really horrible. But also in South Africa, we have people who have really created a huge footprint, and some of them in the room. Penny Moore's work on the HIV antibodies, bringing us closer to vaccines. Mark Hatherill, who's sitting here with us with the South African Tuberculosis Vaccine Initiative. Tumbin Dugu, who's working on HIV immunity, Ntubeko, who's a good friend of me, working with a cardiovascular intersect, and Clive, who I've worked with also when during my time at UCT, and who has worked a lot on HIV immune regulation and also on placental immunology, which I think is so interesting. So these immunologists, we are very proud of them. As a faculty, we are just very, very proud that you are bringing immunology into a space where it's not just about lab science, but where it's part of our clinical medicine, where it's part of understanding how we defend and misfire and understand the human body in terms of our immunology and our intersect with bacteria and ourselves. So I believe immunology should be at the core part of clinical training. I think it's a very important knowledge that we have to not only have in the science community, but also in the clinical immunity. And this milestone is a celebration for how far we've come, but it also helps us to look ahead. And what can we do together over the next 20 years in immunology to expand this field and to bring it to everybody in the hospital setting and outside it, and also, of course, to our patients. So thank you very much for inviting me to be here. I'll be listening to some of your talks. Unfortunately, I can't be here the whole time, but I hope it's a wonderful afternoon.